White knight. The white knight looks like a hero on the surface. They show up with answers, with concern, with solutions you didn't ask for. At first, it feels like they're helping you, like someone finally understands what you're going through. But that's only the setup. Because in toxic dynamics, the white knight doesn't just help with problems. They create the problem themselves, just so they can be the one to fix it. They stir up conflict behind the scenes. They chip away at your confidence, then comfort you when you start to fall apart. They'll tell you someone's turning on you, and then offer to protect you from the fallout. They build the fire, then show up with the hose. Why? Because being the savior gives them power. And if you didn't need saving, they wouldn't have a role to play. It's subtle. You don't always see it happening because it's wrapped in care and concern. But their support comes with strings. It's not about you getting stronger. It's about you staying broken just long enough to keep them relevant. And if you start growing, if you set boundaries or solve your own problems, they might withdraw or turn cold or flip the script entirely and make you feel like you're ungrateful for everything they've done. So how do you deal with it? Start noticing the pattern. Do they step up when things fall apart, or do they quietly push things toward falling apart just so they can step in? Real support helps you rise. A white knight needs you on your knees. So take the help if it's genuine, but don't give up your power in the process. You don't need to be rescued. You just need room to stand on your own. The silent treatment. Silence can be peaceful. It can be calming, respectful, needed. But the silent treatment, that's something different. It's not a pause. It's a punishment. It's what happens when someone uses absence to control you. They don't yell. They don't explain. They just go quiet, cold, distant, unreachable. And they stay that way until you give in. The silent treatment isn't about space. It's about power. You'll find yourself replaying everything you said, wondering what you did wrong. You'll feel pressure to fix it, even though you're not sure what it is. And that uncertainty, that's what makes it work. Because when someone refuses to communicate, you're left guessing. And eventually, you stop focusing on your own needs and start focusing entirely on how to get them to engage again. You apologize just to end the silence. You bend, you soften, you tiptoe. Not because it's your fault, but because the quiet is unbearable. And for the person using it, that silence becomes a tool. It says, I control when this relationship feels safe. I control when you feel seen. And if I withdraw, you'll chase me. It can show up in romantic relationships, with friends, even at work. Anywhere someone wants to win without having a conversation. So how do you deal with it? You stop chasing the noise. You name what's happening. You say, if you're upset, I'm open to talking, but I won't be punished with silence. And then you hold your ground. Because communication is a two-way street. And if someone refuses to speak unless they're being agreed with, they're not looking for connection. They're looking for control. Breadcrumbing. Breadcrumbing is when someone gives you just enough attention to keep you hooked, but never enough to actually move forward. They'll send a "hey" text every few days, react to your story, compliment you randomly, just enough to remind you they exist. But when it comes to making plans, showing up, or committing to anything real, it's always vague, always later, always just out of reach. It's like emotional clickbait. You keep checking in, hoping this time it'll be different, that maybe now they're finally ready to show up, but they're not. They're just dropping another crumb. The goal of breadcrumbing isn't connection, it's control. It keeps you emotionally invested while they stay unaccountable. You get stuck in a loop of anticipation and letdown. And even though you're not being treated well, it's hard to walk away because they never really end it either. They don't reject you. They just stall you. And that uncertainty keeps you hoping, waiting, checking your phone at 2 a.m. because maybe this time they'll actually follow through. Breadcrumbing can happen in dating, friendships, even professional relationships. And it's not always malicious. Sometimes people do it out of fear, insecurity, or just because they like the attention. But the result is the same. You're left in limbo while they keep all the power. So how do you deal with it? You stop chasing the trail. If someone's interest only shows up in flashes, if they always leave you guessing, you don't need to decode it. You just need to decide it's not enough. Consistency speaks louder than charm, and you deserve more than crumbs.